Palestine, Japan and Finland, a comparative report وبمشاركة ميسة أبو زنط وعايشة عبد ربه ومنجي غانم. الأستاذ منجي غانم حاصل على ماجستير مناهج وأساليب التدريس وطالب دكتوراه تعليم وتعلم، خبرة في تصميم المساقات والمواد التعليمية الإلكترونية، عضو ومدرب معتمد وحاصل على شهادات دولية في التدريب. نتمنى للأستاذ منجي إنه يمتعنا في هاي دراسة المقارنة، وإن شاء الله تكون ذات فائدة لهذا اللقاء إن شاء الله. تفضل أستاذ منجي.
يعطيكم العافية جميعا. بداية شكرا لمجموعة خبراء التعليم على إتاحة الفرصة إلنا لعرض أبحاثنا في هذا المكان. رح أحكي البحث في اللغة الإنجليزية. السلام عليكم. I am Munji Ghanem, PhD student at An-Najah National University. Me and my colleagues Maysa and Aisha present to you a comparative study about the education system in Palestine, Japan and Finland. Before we compare, in 1900, Sadler warned against the transfer of educational policies or practices from one context to another, by noting that we cannot wonder at pleasure among the education systems of the world, like a child strolling through a garden and picking flowers from one bush and some leaves from another, and then expect that if we stick that what we have gathered into the soil at home, we shall have a living plant. Yes, a national education system is a living thing, the outcome of forgotten struggles and of battles long ago. It has in it some of the secret workings of the national life. Another quote from Abir, who was born in Gaza City in the year the first Intifada started in 1987. She said, "By that time I started school, I'd already become used to the sight of Israeli soldiers patrolling the streets every morning. I used to be really scared of them. My grandma would warn me that I shouldn't talk to them. In school, we had teach each other tips about dealing with soldiers. For example, when you see an Israeli jeep, don't run, because the soldiers will think you are doing something bad." This may summarize the situation of education in Palestine. Now about education systems. As we see, we have in Palestine 6 levels. The first one is the basic education for 10 years, then 2 years for secondary stream. After that, we have diploma level, 1 to 2 years, bachelor degree from 4 to 6 years, then postgraduate levels for master and PhD, master 2 years and PhD 3 years. In Japan education system, we have 3 levels. Primary education, it lasts 6 years. Secondary education, it lasts 6 years also. It includes junior, high, vocational schools, and start of College of Technology. The third is higher education, which is the university stage. Then postgraduate, it includes master 2 years and PhD 4 years. In Finland, early childhood education and care is provided for children before the compulsory education begins. This is followed by pre-primary education, which is provided for children in the year preceding the beginning of compulsory education. At age 7, students start a 9-year basic education. Both pathways, general and vocational, are equal in value and provide access to further studies. Vocational education covers fields such as engineering, manufacturing, and construction, etc., and it aims to provide students with high-quality learning that is deeply relevant to the working life. Vocational education is highly regarded in Finland. Up to 50% of the students apply for vocational upper secondary studies immediately after basic education. There is a special attention paid to adult education in Finland. That is learners over 25 years of age. Those learners can start studying at any stage of their lives and at all levels of education. In 2017, over 27% of Finnish adults enrolled in adult education, which is more than double the average percentage of adult education enrollment rate in EU. One of the main indicators to assess the outcomes of an educational system is through international assessment tools. Two of the most commonly used tools to inform educational policies and reform are PISA and TIMSS. Finnish students have the shortest total learning time in comparison to other participants in the PISA. They obtained very high marks on all domains of the exam. Although Japan dropped from number 2 to number 5 in PISA, but both Finland and Japan are doing exceptionally well. As with TIMSS, in 2015 assessment, Japan was one of the 5 Asian countries to outperform all other participating countries in mathematics at the 4th grade level. Finland, on the other hand, has seen a receding performance on the TIMSS as it dropped from 8th to 17th place in mathematics test. But where is Palestine from all of that? Palestine's last appearance on any of these tests was in 2011, where it ranked 36, an improvement from ranking 43 in 2007. Other than that, there is no real data to judge Palestinians' educational outcomes in accordance with other countries. But what are the reasons for the Finland and Japan educational outcomes are exceptionally good in comparison to other educational systems? The reason for that, we believe that the success could be summarized in the slogan found on the Finnish Ministry of Education and Culture website. They say, education is one of the cornerstones of the Finnish welfare society. Ourselves on an educational system that offers equal opportunities for education for all. The Finnish education system ensures equal opportunities for all. Education from pre-primary to higher education is free of charge. To provide the same quality of education for all students, most private schools don't differ from those that are publicly maintained. They follow the national core curricula and qualification requirements. The Finnish educational system is built on a strong base of highly qualified teachers, which is considered one of the main reasons behind its performance in PISA. Having strong teacher education training is important in the case of Finland, as the Ministry of Education entrusts its teachers with high responsibilities and important decision-making opportunities. One of these responsibilities is having a national curriculum that offer individual schools and teachers the autonomy to develop and build their own individualized curriculum. Going through the educational systems for Palestine, Japan, and Finland has made us conclude that every country must offer its best to ensure its citizens are provided with high quality of education. This could be done through having a strong base of teachers, ensuring equity of education, and adopting a grassrooted educational management. Palestine might be falling behind in this matter and in desperate need for the educational reform using some of lessons learned from Japan and Finland. However, with Palestine being under occupation and in a critical situation, this reform may not be easy. Moreover, it's not all sun and roses in Finland and Japan as well. The Japanese educational system, for example, has been under a lot of scrutiny for its examination system that drives students to be more competition-oriented rather than learning-focused. So, as we have mentioned at the beginning of this report, a comparative education study is useful to shed light on what makes a national education system works. However, what works in one context might not work the same in another context. Thank you.